Welcome into the tasting room. We're always glad you're here. The tour at the Leipers Fork Distillery is not complete without a visit to their historic tasting room, where it turns out you'll get a lot more than a few pours of their superior product. Sir Paul Bissett passes on whiskey history at the same time.
Welcome to our 200-year-old tasting room. I'm your tour guide. My name is Paul. This building was built in 1820 in Van Leer. That's about 45 miles northwest of here, and it was built by a guy called James Daniel. We've told people for 8 years, no relation to Jack Daniel, pure coincidence. The Daniel family descendants live close by. They heard we were telling people that. They paid us a visit last year, brought the family tree to show us we didn't know what we were talking about. James and Jack were cousins. We did not know that when we bought this building. We didn't know it for 8 years. We do now. Now, when we bought this, it was in disrepair. We had it dismantled and brought here piece by piece, refurbished and rebuilt on site so you'd have somewhere nice to drink your whiskey. The team that did that for us did not use power tools. They rebuilt this cabin the way it was originally built in 1820, and it was featured on a TV show called Barnwood Builders. Okay, so we are about to drink neat whiskey. Neat whiskey, there's nothing in there, no water, soda, anything, just whiskey. If you're not used to drinking neat whiskey, you will get a strong burning sensation in your throat when you swallow it. But I can fix that. No, seriously. Seriously, I can fix that. I'll come over there and drink yours. Okay, no, there's actually an easy way around it. Watch what I do, copy what I do. You will not get that burning sensation when you swallow the whiskey. It's not the liquid that burns you, it's actually the fumes. Many people believe it's the liquid, it's not, it's the fumes. If you swallow the whiskey and immediately blow it strongly, you blow the fumes away. A couple of things not to do that I've seen happen in this room. One, do not swallow the whiskey and do this. Well, it's too late, you just pulled all the fumes in, you're getting the burn. The other one happened last year, where this lady is on the end of the table there. The lady took a big drink of whiskey and sprayed it all over her husband. Swallow the whiskey before you blow out, please. Okay, I thought it was obvious, but I guess not. Okay, so, being a nice person, I will start you off on the Tennessee White Whiskey. Please pick it up, give it a smell, give it a taste, see what you think. Okay, so that first whiskey you just tasted, that one is 90 proof, 45% alcohol. The next two are 50% alcohol, 100 proof. Can anybody tell me where the term proof as used in alcohol came from? We have to go back to the early 1500s in England. The government decided to tax high-strength alcohol. They only had one test. They didn't know how it worked or why it worked, but if it worked, you'd be taxed. So they'd send somebody like me to your distillery. I'd turn up and say, "Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help." No, nobody believes that. I'm from the government, I'm here to test your whiskey, and you say, "Sure, there's a sample." So I would take a shallow container, like a ladle or a spoon, and I would put gunpowder in here. I would take your whiskey sample and I would soak the gunpowder completely, then strike a match and hit it. If the wet gunpowder ignites, I have proof. Dumb as it sounds, that's exactly where the term proof in alcohol came from. It wasn't until 1816 a scientist finally figured out what was happening. He realized that if the whiskey you were making, or gin, rum, vodka, was 57% alcohol or higher, wet gunpowder would ignite every time. They said this is going to be the new standard for measuring high-strength alcohol, and it will be 100%. Well, unfortunately, everything happens at 57, so math got involved. 30 years later, over here in the US, America introduced proof in alcohol, but over here, if you can, you like to keep things easy. You did. You got around the table and said, "This proof thing we're doing, why don't we just say proof's exactly double alcohol?" That is proof in alcohol. Okay, so in a moment we will move on to your middle whiskey, the aged Tennessee. But please don't pick it up just yet. I do have a couple of more pieces of useless information to impart. When you pick it up, please do not do this. Don't jam your nose in there, it's not red wine. You can leave your nose in a glass of red wine all day, nothing will happen. This is 50% alcohol. You jam your nose in there, you take a good sniff, you will desensitize your nostrils and very probably bring tears to your eyes. What I want you to do instead is, I want you to leave your mouth slightly open as I'm doing, bring it all the way up to one nostril, take a sniff. All the way up to the next one. and take a sniff. 3 reasons for doing it this way. First reason, if you breathe in through your nose with your mouth open, you draw the aromas in, they will pass back out your open mouth over your tongue. It will help you pick up the flavor. Second reason is kind of silly, but it's interesting. You're about to find out you have a dominant nostril. Third reason, I get to watch, it's pretty amusing. Okay, now most importantly, last bit, you've only got a little bit of whiskey in that middle glass. After you work out your dominant nostril, take a small sip, try and leave at least half of it, so I can then explain to you what water does to whiskey. So go ahead, pick up your middle glass, your aged Tennessee. Mouth slightly open, bring it all the way up to one nostril, take a smell. Then the next one. Once you've worked out your dominant nostril, take a small sip, try and leave at least half, put it back down. Okay, first question I have for you all. Anybody in here believe they may not have a dominant nostril? Occasionally some people don't. You? Okay. You a bit the same? Okay, you two ladies, you are nostradextrous. Okay. What we're about to do is visual. Once we finish doing the testing, if you want to drink the rest of it, you may. But it's not compulsory. I'm not trying to get you drunk, because some of you may have to drive. We are about to do appreciation. I'm sure you've seen someone on television pick up a glass of red wine. They will roll the wine around in the glass, put their nose in there, take a smell, look back up into the camera and try and convince you, sat at home, that they're smelling chocolate. Then they'll take a sip of the red wine and they will go on and on about everything except grapes. They'll tell you they're picking up notes of old saddle leather, wet autumn leaves, sausages on the barbecue. Thing is, all alcohol really does have underlying flavor, and to pick it up, all you have to do is practice. I drank whiskey every night for 3 straight years to get good at this, and I was prepared to make that sacrifice for your benefit. Not all heroes wear capes. Okay, the other thing is knowing all alcohol is different. Wine on average is 12 to 18% alcoholic strength. It's a lot easier to pick up flavor down there than it is up here at 50. If you are a blender and you want to know that this is ready to be bottled, you're going to do exactly what you're doing right now. You smell it neat, you taste it neat, then you add water to it to really open it up. 2 things happen when water is added to whiskey. The first is fairly obvious, the strength comes down. The second is not obvious at all. It relates to every spirit that's ever been distilled throughout history. Gin, rum, vodka, tequila, brandy, cognac, whiskey, they all have flavor chains. They are invisible to the naked eye, but that's what you smell and that's what you taste. Unfortunately, neat alcohol binds flavor chains tightly together. It constrains the release of the aroma and the taste. But when you add water to whiskey, you actually cause an exothermic reaction in there. The temperature comes up slightly, the flavor chains break, 100% the aroma comes off, 100% the taste. So in a moment, we're going to use these things. Okay, this still goes wrong to this day, because when I tell everybody in the room to pick up the glass this way, everybody does this. I know why, it's whiskey, it's important, you don't want to lose it. But when I then say lift it high, tip it over and watch what happens, you can't. Your thumb is completely in the way. You need to pick it up this way. Okay, you're all going to do this in a moment, so don't worry if you can't see it from this distance. Okay, so when you do lift it high, tip it over, if you watch from underneath when the water strikes a whiskey, you can see little explosions or storms in there. They're very brief. You've got to be looking right at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are known in the industry as visometric swirls. You will forget that pretty quickly, but if you see those little storms exploding in your whiskey, it's going to stick, and you'll realize you've just caused a chemical reaction. You've broken your flavor change, you've released 100% of the aroma and 100% of the taste. Get back to smelling it, get back to tasting it. It's gonna blow your mind. When you realize there's a lot more smell and a lot more taste after adding water in, it's counterintuitive to everything you know. You add water to anything, you dilute it. You take away the aroma, you take away the taste. You add water to whiskey, you expand the aroma, you expand the taste. After you've done this, I'll explain why. But meantime, go ahead, add 3 or 4 drops of water to your Tennessee whiskey, and then get back to smelling it and tasting it. Okay, that should really enhance the smell and the taste of that whiskey. So did that open it up for you?
Pretty much.
Good. Consider today day 1 of your 3-year plan. Okay, now do not add ice to whiskey if you want to pick up flavor. Ice closes flavor down. It also chills the whiskey, so when you drink it, you chill your own taste buds, lowering your ability to pick up flavor. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with ice if you like ice. The bourbon we make here is usually what I drink in the summer when it's hot and I'm sat on the deck at home, and it's over a big ice ball. But I know the bourbon really well. I'm talking about whiskey you don't know. You're trying it for the first time, you're trying to pick out flavor. The best way to do that is room temperature whiskey, room temperature water. Smell it neat, taste it neat, then add a little bit of room temperature water in there. It opens it up, smell it, taste it again. Once you've got past trying to figure out flavor, go ahead, do what you want. Add ice, add soda, add water, whatever floats your boat. It's nobody's business how you're drinking it. It's your money, your taste buds. Drink it the way you want. It's nobody's business. So why did it open up? Because whiskey is ethanol. Ethanol molecules love ethanol molecules. All they want to do is hug. They get together, they lock up, they form across the surface of the whiskey an invisible barrier. All you get to smell, well, it's neat, is what's on top. All you get to taste is what's on top. You add a couple of drops of water, you shatter those bonds apart, you get access to the smell for everything, the taste for everything. That's why a couple of drops of water opens it up for you. If you're just trying to pick out the flavors of the whiskey, that's the best way to do it. Now, two things on the Tennessee whiskey before I finish on it. One, if you've got any left, feel free to drink it. We're finished experimenting with it a bit. Again, it's not compulsory, you don't have to. Two, last year, competition, all 58 Tennessee distilleries, blind taste competition. We won best Tennessee whiskey with that Tennessee whiskey. I take a bow, but all I do is stand around and talk and drink whiskey. I don't actually make it. Now, before we move on to the bourbon, on our aged Tennessee whiskey it says bottle and bond. On our aged bourbon it also says bottle and bond. Anybody know what bottle and bond is? Let me take you back to the late 1800s. There were people in the US, because this is an American thing, there were people in the US in the late 1800s who got nicknamed rectifiers. They got the nickname rectifiers because they'd take whiskey that looked like this and they would rectify the color and make it look like that. There were good rectifiers and there were bad rectifiers. Good rectifiers would take about 60% of this stuff, buy good aged whiskey, put about 40% of this stuff in here. That would give that color and flavor. Today you would call those people blenders. Now unfortunately, late 1800s, they were bad rectifiers. They were making moonshine. They were leaving the head and tail in there. I told you out there that could hurt somebody. They didn't care. It gave them 30% more alcohol to sell. They were interested in making money and nothing else. They were so intent in making money, they wouldn't spend a penny on the good stuff to give it color and flavor. They would add anything that was cheap, available, and made the whiskey look old. They were adding things like shoe polish, iodine, prune juice, sulfuric acid, so the whiskey had more kick. Many of those bad rectifiers owned saloons. They had a still at the back making bad moonshine, passing it off as aged whiskey to their customers. What did they have in the saloon they could use to colour it? They had spittoons along the front of the bar. They added tobacco spit. Well, as you'd imagine, most people at that point stopped drinking whiskey in America. The good distillers couldn't even sell it, so they asked Congress to do something, and Congress actually did. They brought in the Bottle and Bond Act of 1897. It was the first Consumer Protection Act in the history of America, and it was for whiskey. To this day, that is the best label you can see in a whiskey bottle in America. That's a federal government guarantee as the quality of the product in here. But to get this label, you have to follow Congress's directions, and those directions are you have to have one distiller working in one distillery and one distilling season. There are 2 distilling seasons a year, spring and fall, based on harvest. You cannot bring whiskey together from both seasons and put it in. It must come from one only. Again, one distiller, one distillery, one distilling season. 4 years minimum in a brand new charred oak barrel in a government bonded facility, and it must go into the bottle at exactly 100 proof. If you can do those things, get a label in your whiskey bottle. That is Bottle and Bond. Okay, that's what you just drank, Bottle and Bond Tennessee. You're about to drink Bottle and Bond bourbon. 2 things quickly about the bourbon. 1, it has not gone through charcoal. This one has all its fusel oils. It will have the most flavor. 2, drink it any way you want. Okay, we're not experimenting with it, we're not saving it, just go ahead and enjoy it. Last year we sent some of that up to Kentucky for a big competition called the Ascot Awards. It was hosted by the bourbon writer Fred Minnick. It was a blind taste competition and we won Best Bourbon up in Kentucky last year. If you go up to Kentucky anytime soon, look in the Ohio River, the water level's really high from all the tears of the Kentuckians. Thank you, that concludes your tour.
Everything about the experience at the Leipers Fork Distillery is unforgettable. I mean, the history of the 200-year-old cabin is just scratching the surface. It is a must-visit stop on the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, and their product is award-winning for a reason. Thanks again for visiting with us here in the tasting room, where we will always encourage you to drink what you like.